the Arctic Ocean, it's dark, you have ice in front of your bow, it's foggy. Nowadays, navigation systems on board, they tell you that you are in the Arctic Ocean, and it doesn't help so much. But we learned that there are quite some products available. There's also a screen. Good. The outline of the talk, I will introduce you in the big ice data problem. Then I will tell you more about our startup company, about the market we're addressing. And then I will show you some showcases and our new user uptake program, which just starts. So the big ice data problem. You imagine you're on the bridge of Polarstern or any other ship. The screen of the navigation system doesn't tell you a lot, but you know there are all these data. There are weather data, maybe you have them on board. There are satellite images from several missions. There are ice charts available. There is even forecast models. There is vessel traffic data. Maybe there are other ships around. There's ice age information, ice thickness information. There is a lot of information available. And now imagine, okay, the internet connection on board is, maybe you even rely on Iridium connection only, so like 15 kilobytes per second or something. You don't want to open a web browser, collect all this data, and then you need an academic expert on board doing the analysis with the GIS system. And when everything is finished, actually the data is already outdated because the ice moved, situation have changed dramatically. So there is certain way of improvement. We use quite some of these data here in red marked. Some data we also get from the Copernicus program and the Copernicus Marine program. And we are an intermediate user. You remember from yesterday there are this pyramid of data producers, intermediate users, end users. We're definitely an intermediate user because what would happen if you throw all this data on the end user, for example, a nautical crew on board, this could best imagined like this. So it's really not handleable. So what is the goal is to combine a lot of this data to actionable information. And that's our vision, that's our goal of all the applications we write. So some words to our company. Drift and Noise Polar Services is a spin-off company from the Alfred Greener Institute. It emerged during our own Arctic research expeditions because suddenly as the sea ice expert on board, we were running constantly on the bridge and assisting with navigational information. We came up with the idea maybe we should automate a lot of that. So the people in our company have a polar research background, remote sensing experts, geophysicists. We also do consulting and measurements on site. But over the past 5 years, it really became a software engineering company. So that's our main thing. We produce software. The markets we address is, our home base, that's the research ships, and there are also not so many ships going really into the difficult ice situations. So it's research ships, but it's also the growing expedition cruise industry in the Arctic, but also in the Antarctic. We have cargo shipping in the Arctic regions, transporting mostly resources from the Arctic or into the Arctic. And you've heard, of course, of the potential usage of the northwest and northeast passage for transit from Asian or European markets. But that's still a future scenario, I would say. I show some showcases now. Again, our home base, the research icebreaker Polarstern. They have the data of the Copernicus system very well integrated by now. They have a viewing system, they have a dedicated screen on board. There's a backend installed which transmits data even via Iridium connections. And thanks for introducing the North Greenland story in the previous talk, because that's just what you see here. That's again the same opening north of Greenland. And Polarstern had the Sentinel-1 images on board. It had the Copernicus forecast information of the ice drift on board. So they could relatively safe operate exactly at that time doing some geophysical and geological measurements north of Greenland. And the up-to-date information on board helped a lot here. We automate some of the delivery so that it's 24/7 and not only available during weekdays. We can, for example, connect the position of the ship to the metadatabase of Sentinel-1 images and CS concentration here in the background. So the images are being delivered automatically on board as soon as it is available by the Copernicus service. I would like to give another showcase. What is the value in all these data of Copernicus? Sentinel-1 is considered a very valuable tool for sea ice information. Topaz, the Topaz 4 system, the sea ice forecast information is also valuable, but it's again, that's already difficult to judge all this information and to analyze all this information on board. So one method could be to warp the image driven by the Topaz 4 data. So you see that the Sentinel-1 images is like simulating a high-resolution ice forecast by taking the CMEMS forecast data. And then, just with the human eye, you immediately get the dynamics of the ice cover without any complicated analysis. I would like to conclude my talk with the last announcement here for our user uptake project, which started just right now. So there's not so much to show, but some of the concepts we will apply, I can show. It is called Svalnav. We will also present more on the Thursday meeting about that project. It will be an app available for the Android systems, then also for more like iOS or Windows systems in the future. It will provide ice imagery, improved ice drift forecasts. We cooperate with Metno here, with our colleagues Malte Müller and Cyril Palerme. And it will be, a main issue will be the user-friendly front end, and it should work with low bandwidth connection. So you should be able to work it on the bridge or wherever you are on the ice in the Svalbard region. So we focus on the Svalbard regions to keep the problem a little bit smaller in the beginning. So one concept we will apply is the ice pad concept. We developed it in a previous research project with partners in Germany. And it's actually a front end which divides an area of interest into small tiles. Because imagine you have the low bandwidth connection, you don't want the entire satellite image downloaded, you just want like with surgical precision, you just want to have one area of interest, maybe one strait or one bottleneck. So you can just choose on the front end with one click only the area you would like to have. And that's the concept we will apply on this Svalnav app. For example, you just can download only metadata. If you have a low bandwidth connection, maybe you're just interested how old is actually the information for that region. And if you get the metadata information, it's 2 days old, maybe you don't want to download it with your expensive Iridium connection. And the second part will be that we include ice drift, visualizing it first as trajectories on the front end. So that's one way that you get the ice dynamics. And then eventually we hope that we can also include what I showed previously, the animated forecast. However, this is kind of critical to do this operationally. That's quite computational intensive at the moment. But that's the goal eventually, that it's not only showing images, but also the animated forecasting of the images. Yeah, I would like to conclude my talk with some take-home messages. Ice analysis is a big data problem. And so to bring it to end users, you need to automate a lot of the things, and you need to integrate it into the systems on board. So if it's all need to be taken from different sources and displayed in a GIS system, that takes too long to integrate it into ship everyday life. Then CMEMS data plus satellite images is very valuable. You can even combine some of this information to create new visualization strategies or new products, you can say. And then you should keep in mind that now over the next 1.5 years, there is the Svalnav app coming, and we will be happy to inform you as soon as this will be ready to download via the Play Store or on our webpage to download. Thanks.